Yo, sorry, I was on mute. Yeah. Hey, just got off the DLF live stream. I'm still doing the exact same thing, so I just thought I'd stream for a while. If anyone wants to shoot the shit, ask a question, whatever. I'm out here. Let me know. Another offensive tackle. Awesome. Now I think about it, it's really unorganized. Where the hell's my stream thing? I lost you all. Hey, we're gonna change which screen I'm sharing here. There we go. That's better for me. Yeah, I've already got Twitter open over here. All right, we're settling in. Been a while since I solo streamed. Give me a minute. Figure some stuff out. How's the draft treating you? All right. So model's spitting out 6 top wide receivers. So I'm assuming we have 6 so far. Burks, London. Who's number 2? Burks, London, Alave, Garrett Wilson. Williams stays below Dotson, even with that draft capital. That's kind of insane. Yeah, model hates Wilson. Williams a little too much, I think. Okay, I'll get a drink in a second. It's not a bad idea, Bob. I finished it, though. I'd have to go. I don't know. I think if I live stream Netflix, I'd probably get in some trouble now I think about it. Even with just you watching. Well, you have to let me know if you need the link, by the way. Mm-hmm. I'm actually just reading Travis's article while I input draft picks into the database. I thought I'd try and live do it. I don't know why. Manual entry can be fun, Bob. Okay. I'm just going to pretend you're still there. Shut up, Roger. It's funny. Ooh, a corner. Center? Yeah, it's a center. Baltimore gets a center. All right. Gonna go get a drink. No one. Just so you know. Anything interesting happen? Nope. All right. No, still stuck in the same old corner. Live draft sucks, man. Two watches. I got no idea why. If you got a question, you let me know. Or a comment. Or an insult. Anything, really. I was gonna do this thing. Did I set that up yet? Where I could switch it up to post-draft. I think, did I remove that? My comps table was going to do this thing where the minute I got the draft capital, it started using it. I'm going to produce slightly different comps, but I might have removed it. Yeah, it must have. Sure, I'll send it to you, Bob. Minute I find it. Where you at? Hey, I got some whiskey left. Don't know how well that mixes, but we'll find out. There you are.
Yeah. Everyone's
How you
screens
doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Just sitting here, man.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at it and looking at draft capital and seeing how it is really plummeting Malik Willis right now.
Yeah, just don't draft these quarterbacks, man. That's the answer.
Yeah, that's basically. I mean, I'm waiting on Bryce
Yeah,
Hall's
you can.
landing spot, but I think
Yeah,
Drake
you can
London
basically just go
has.
running back over quarterback this year.
Yeah, but I mean, Drake London's value has to be on the rise.
I
Just
think it's been. Well, I don't know if it can. Depends who you're talking to, but I think it's been some people's wide receiver one for a while. So. But yeah, it's probably going to be the. I'd be surprised if he's not like at least wide receiver two, probably wide receiver one in Dynasty.
Where did Burks end up?
Someone's going to reach for him in most drafts. Burks is going to Tennessee to replace A.J. Brown.
Oh,
he went
that's
18th.
right. Yeah. So,
Yep. A lot of trades.
Same type of player, too.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
What does your sheet say?
Me? I never thought A.J. Brown, but that's because A.J. Brown's production was a little weird where he got injured a lot. I could see it from a physical comp. I had him wide receiver 1, so I'm not against it. I talked to Scott Barrett recently, and he was saying Burks didn't have to learn shit. They just gave him the ball, and he didn't like that. Sounded positive to me. I know. Guy's so good, he didn't have to.
He doesn't need to be coached.
Stuff. Yeah, right. Just give him the ball. I get his point. You're gonna have to learn some routes and stuff, you know. Hang on, let me. Stop doing that. Are we gonna get a quarterback this first round? I don't think we are.
Well, Pickett went to Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, of course. I didn't even know who that guy was. I mean,
What size
I had to
are
add
his
him
hands
live
now?
while I was on the stream. Apparently, they're at normal human size instead of ginormous. They're normal human size, and that's the problem.
But there's no weather in Pittsburgh, so they should be fine.
I'll be fine.
Joe
Burrow's got small hands too, remember?
That's right.
Joe Burrow. There you go.
Interested about what the Lions are going to do, whether they're going to grab a second-round quarterback. I had planned a podcast tomorrow morning with Bosch, figuring we'd have a few quarterbacks to talk about. Now I got to
Oh, that's going to be rough.
I got to rethink the whole show for basically a wide receiver show, I think.
Yeah, they basically didn't take anything else. So
between the trades and the picks, we've got some wide receivers to talk about.
Oh, God, yeah, I haven't even got my head around that yet. Marcus Brown's going to where? Arizona?
He's going to Arizona. So does that say that they don't believe in Rondale Moore? Or
I think it's concerning. Or at least they think he needs help. DeAndre Hopkins is older and injured, and Christian Kirk is gone. So, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not positive, is it?
No. And the other thing is it because Baltimore believes that much in Bateman that they?
Well, he's pretty good last year. I think people underrate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did great.
I mean,
I don't think they would have got rid of Hollywood just because of that. They're happy with him, but
he's also going to be looking for a contract.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's what the NFL's doing. Good teams are doing more and more. It's like AJ Brown, they're moving him before they have to pay him.
Well, they've already. Philadelphia just signed him for $100 million 4 years.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they extended him. Christian Kirk started a trend.
He really set the bar there, didn't he? Oh yeah, Jameson Winston to Detroit. No, that feels fine. He plays fast and on the outside. What was the Washington thing?
Someone was comparing him to Tyreek Hill.
Williams?
Yeah. As far as speed.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not Tyreek Hill, but I could see. I understand it. Yeah, he's a really fast guy.
And
I'm
John
really worried about Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, Dotson. I really thought they were going to
Not
go
because of
quarterback.
Dotson. Yeah, it does not sound. This team does not seem to have a firm plan. Like that was a bad idea, and that makes me worry for him. You know,
They traded.
what we
back
need is a very middling, terrible wide receiver. Huh?
They traded back. They still. I mean, and they got Carson Wentz throwing the ball.
Yeah. I don't think Dotson helps him out much, put it that way. I don't think Dotson's very much anything. Wait.
Who's still on the board?
Oh, no, I already knew about this one.
Who's still on the board for wide receivers?
Oh, there's plenty on the board, I'd say. I'm interested to see where Bell lands, but he's going to be day 2.
Yeah.
George Pickens, I'm interested in that guy.
Pickens.
And
Sky Moore.
Did Olave get picked yet?
Yeah, he went to New Orleans.
Olave went?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's fine. And then Justin Ross, maybe. But yeah, mostly day 2 guys left. I thought Pickens and Bell could, sneak first round draft capital, but it ain't not happening. Doesn't look like it's happening.
Yeah, Sky Moore. You got.
I was trying to think. You might know this better off the top of your head. Like, I was doing it on stream as well. I remember a draft like this where a bunch of okay wide receivers were drafted back to back in the first round, but I can't think when it was.
Okay, wide receivers back to back.
I mean, they're good. You know what I mean? Like, wide receivers going thick and fast in the first round. 2020 is the closest I found, but I don't think that's the one I was thinking of. Feels like there was another one.
I'm thinking way back. Yeah. I'm thinking more like 2011, 2012.
Oh, okay. Let's see. First round wide receivers in 2011. No, I got 3. I got 4 in 2012.
Let's see. Wide receivers.
Must just be my imagination. 2020 does seem to be it. We've got Ruggs, Judy, Lamb, Rager, Jefferson, Ayuk, and Chase. No, he was 21. So we got 6 in 2020.
Since 2012, a total of 35 wide receivers have been drafted in the first round. 2014, Beckham.
Yeah, we have 5. It's 6 in 2015. That might be what I was thinking of. But they were a little later.
You got 2017, you got Corey Davis, Mike Williams, and John Ross.
Yep.
2016, yeah. 2016 was a good one. Corey Coleman, Will Fuller, Josh Doxson, and
Treadwell. Oh, that was such a good class.
Solid first rounders there. 2015.
I mean, it didn't matter who you were fighting for there.
2015, you had 6 of them. You had Amari Cooper, Kevin White, Devontae Parker, Nelson Aguilar, Brashard Perryman, and Philip Dorsett.
Yeah, I think 2015 might have been what I was thinking of. Obviously,
I mean, I would call Amari Cooper above average, but the rest of them. Brandon Cooks, Calvin Benjamin, Odell Beckham, Mike Evans, Sammy Watkins in 14.
Yeah.
2012, Justin Blackman, Michael Floyd, Kendall Wright, AJ Jenkins.
I just think this is more 2015 than it is 2020. I guess
Yeah.
that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, I mean, 2020 was a lot of smashes. I mean,
Yeah.
you get Ayuk is above average. Jefferson, Lamb, Judy.
Rager's a miss, but whatever.
Rager was a miss, and Ruggs really.
Who did they just trade for? That happened.
Who?
It was
the Raiders. Devontae Adams.
No. Philadelphia
AJ
just got
Brown.
someone in this.
They got AJ Brown.
That's where he went. Right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rager's
it
gone.
takes me
Rager's
forever
out
to remember.
Rager's out, and AJ Brown will play 5 to 6 games, and that was a terrible move by the Eagles. Jaguars took a linebacker. Means nothing. Packers pick is in. Are they going to get a wide receiver?
The NFL seems determined not to let him.
Well, they just don't like. They don't like Rodgers.
Yeah.
Let's see. Top need wide receiver. Best available. Malik Willis.
Yeah, is he going to get picked in the first round? I don't know.
Someone will get him with the last. Someone will trade in to take him with the 32nd pick to get that 5th-year option. Let's see. You got Breece Hall, Corral, Willis, Ritter, Kenneth Walker. Those are your top fantasy relevant players. Trey McBride. I saw an interesting mock that Peter Schrager did, and he had McBride going to Cincinnati in the first round, and I think that's actually a great fit.
Who, sorry? Trey McBride?
Yeah, tight end out of Colorado State.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where these tight ends go. I agree with that.
I mean, the Bengals definitely have a need after losing Uzama.
They did seem to like using him, even if it wasn't enough for us. Yeah.
You get Watson, Christian Watson. Twitter has the answers faster than anyone else.
I don't know how they're doing that. What feed are they watching? Hey, John, you want to come chat? Or are you too busy watching Fortnite? And no, that's for real. He's got there's some kind of qualifiers going on.
Oh no, I know John watches it a lot. It's probably more interesting.
I like it, but I don't go out my way. Oh fuck! Yeah, it's a million times more interesting than this. I mean,
I mean, sitting watching
The
20
NFL
minute
draft
the
is the
NFL
most
draft.
uninteresting watch ever.
I mean,
Jeez, no.
I mean, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's all right, but Packers hate skills position.
I'm sending you the link, John, whether you're too busy or not. Well, after that flurry of wide receivers,
he just texted me a picture. He is watching it. Interesting colors there, John. I don't understand it.
Thanks.
So is that his sniper? Is that a sniper scope there, John? Let's see. What are the Patriots doing? Packers make a pick, but it's a non-wide receiver. Patriots are taking offensive lineman Cole Strange. Well, they already traded back once. I wonder how John would feel about Trey McBride to Cincinnati. He'll he said we should cancel the podcast tomorrow.
There is not much going on.
I'm not going to explain the weaponry in Fortnite. That'd be worse than the first round of the NFL draft.
Ooh, wow, the shade. That's a low bar right there. I'm looking for a Twitter feed because I'm tired of trying to fight with this NFL website. It keeps trying to play pop-ups.
I just go, let's see.
Well, CBS is gone. Maybe they're better. Kansas City's on the board, and there are some interesting wide receivers. Would that get you excited? Oh, John, I'd be okay with McBride to Cincy, but I'm not a fan of tight end in first round. Did John Bosch says he didn't like Kyle Pitts? Was that a Kyle
basically
Pitts? Unless they're named Pitts, of course. Yeah. No, I'm going to stick with this one. John doesn't like first round tight ends. That's what I heard.
Yeah. I have to look up some Kyle Pitts trades to talk about
it. You're still higher on Kyle Pitts than anyone else?
I would say I'm probably just behind John.
Right, it's just you and John. No, I meant it's like Dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Andrews is close. Mark Andrews is close. I like Andrews a lot.
Would you put him in the same different kind of asset above running backs and wide receivers kind of a thing?
Yeah,
No.
I have found myself drafting more of a quality tight end
Yeah.
getting their position locked up.
No, I
I'm
get
just
it.
tired. You get tired of streaming them, you know. And when you're streaming
No,
them,
I
you
know.
just
Yeah.
hope you're just hoping for a touchdown.
Well,
And
it's like running back on acid. It's not just a rare thing. It's almost like there's literally one of them.
right, and
Whether
at
you're
least
talking hits or
they're
difference makers,
consistent.
or
At
yeah,
least they're
yeah, I get it.
consistent. You can, and they last more than 5 years.
Yeah, they do. They drop off quicker, it seems, but they do tend to also play till their 30s. You know.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I do have a lot of pits. I've got quite a few Andrews.
No, what was I looking at the other day? I was looking at players drafted in different classes that have hit like top 36 overall, and I was looking at running back and wide receiver. And then I was looking at tight end, and it's like so Spartan. There are so few of them. It's ridiculous. What was it?
Dynasty Planet. They have
Yeah,
a
there it is.
rostership thing.
2 from 2010, 1 from 2013, 1 from 2015, 1 from 2017. It's just like there are so few good tight ends. Ridiculous. I can understand valuing. 2017, legit the best class ever for fantasy, by the way.
Yeah.
I never think of it that way, but yeah.
I mean, that was the running. Was that the running back?
Running back and wide receiver, and we had George Kittle. We've got 3 wide receivers from that year with top 36 overall seasons, which is slightly below average, but it's still pretty decent. And then you've got 9 running backs, which is phenomenal. And then George Kittle. It's like, I mean, god dang.
Yeah,
Kind of did okay at all positions. That's weird. You don't get that often.
Yeah, you had Zeke, Kamara.
Mm-hmm. It's like the Chris
Hunt.
Godwin here, I think.
Okay. So I've got a lot of Hawkinson. 27.5% of my teams have Hawkinson. 27.5% of my teams have CeeDee Lamb.
This is Dynasty?
Yeah, these are all dynasties. So this is out of 36 leagues. Kyle Pitts at 20%. Probably it would have been higher, but a lot of the leagues are with John.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's tough to get a hold of. Fryermuth. I've got a lot of Fryermuth. Interesting that I have. I do have 17% Jamar Chase.
I don't have Chase anywhere. I've never been able to pay up for him for some reason.
I mean, they were all drafted. I didn't trade for him anywhere. So there must have been some of the rebuilds that I used to test trades out in.
Yeah, my tight end position looks very different, by the way. I've got like 66% Jacob Harris, 50% Evan Ingram. I've got 50% Jimmy Graham. Let's go. I got a lot of Hunter Bryant apparently in Detroit. I don't know why.
Let's see.
I just have trash at tight end until I need it, I guess.
I had a lot of Uzama.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dallas got it. Abado.
Waller. I only have 2 shares of Kittle, 2 shares of Kelsey.
I'm trying to do better with my rostership. like have a higher percentage on players I actually like. I'm really trying to work on that. Got Marcus Brown and Juju and Justin Jefferson pretty high now. But I still have an awful lot of Andy Isabella, you know?
I just clicked on quarterback. 20% Mac Jones.
Oh, yeah. I'm like all in on Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers, apparently. That's where I'm at.
I've got a lot of Marcus Mariota, Garoppolo, Mac Jones. Deshaun. I do have some Deshaun Watson. Apparently, I still have 3 shares of Ben Roethlisberger.
I've only got like 6 leagues. That's the difference. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I got 6. I should have some leagues, I guess.
I've got 3 Debbie leagues that I had Carson Strong on. 3 leagues that I have Malik Willis on.
Kansas City took Edge, apparently.
Did they? They should have just an offensive draft, a defensive draft, make it better for fantasy.
Looks like they took a cornerback and then Edge. Makes sense. Not another fantasy relevant player drafted. Cincinnati next.
Running backs. 15 shares of Damian Harris. 12 shares of James Robinson. 10 shares of 60% James Robinson.
No, 66% Jarrett Patterson.
All right. There's your third rounders from last year.
Yeah. Got a lot of Myles Gaskin, Chase Edmonds. I always have a heavy third round nature to my running back core. Just draft running backs. Stupid. I only have Ron and Rashad Penny share left. Proud of that. Been able to slide out of that one.
I don't see a Jonathan Taylor on here. That can't be good.
I don't have any good running backs.
Oh, I do. I got 2 shares of Jonathan Taylor.
I mean,
it's down pretty far.
It's April. I normally don't, but especially right now, I don't have any good running backs. Not one. I have 1 share of a good running back. Make some trades, I guess.
Well,
I think Myles Gaskin might legit be my best running back. Oh no, I got a Cordero Patterson share. I'm okay.
Until they draft a running back.
Oh yeah, then I'm screwed. I'm already screwed. Let's face it.
I got quite a few Javonte Williams because he was back of the first round. Of the first round last year. So when he was around like the 9-10 pick, I was picking him up.
Although to be fair, those late round wide receivers were good last year too. So
yeah. And I think that's going to be, Pickett this year, and I mean not Pickett, Pickens, Skyler.
I'm really surprised someone didn't just take Breece Hall. Like, there's a strong drop off after Breece Hall. Why not? I know it's first round and it's running back, but come on. Almost every other position is deeper this year.
Who's left to pick?
Just Minnesota and Cincinnati. whose pick is already in. So
neither one of them are.
I would doubt it. Yeah.
Someone would have to trade into Minnesota.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, both picks are already in.
Oh, wow.
According to NFL.
Well, CBS might be slower, but they don't have pop-ups, so I'm happy.
Well, they don't have how it is. It just says pick is in.
Yeah, right. It doesn't matter. Edge, cornerback, linebacker. It's not going to be for us. The Patriots traded up for this offensive lineman, apparently.
No, they traded back.
Oh,
They traded with the Packers. The Packers moved up. Or no, Kansas City. They traded with Kansas City.
That makes sense. Oh, Kenny Pickett's a local quarterback for Pittsburgh, apparently. That's neat. I literally didn't know anything about him. I had to go at him. Like, who? Kenny who?
Daxton Hill, safety for Cincinnati.
Yeah. Well, let's face it, they don't need offense. So.
No Malik Willis in the first.
Yeah, not happening.
Really, Billy? Oh, my UT Chattanooga to the first round. Hey, where's... How about that?
That's This is a linebacker, I guess, out of Georgia
Yeah.
looks like a good pick for Minnesota.
What did the Saints give up to get Chris Olave's pick?
Oh, they traded a lot, I thought, actually. I thought they gave up too much.
Yeah, that's what this says here.
They gave up... let's see. Trade tracker. They gave up the 16th, the 98th, and the
there you go.
120th.
A compensatory third and fourth, plus their own 16.
Yeah.
Which
they just traded for. And then the Eagles. Oh no, and then Hollywood Brown and the third round compensatory pick for the 23rd pick.
I know. I think a third or fourth for Jaheir Doxson, like adding a third and a fourth to Jaheir Doxson to get Chris Olave is pretty good.
And then Philadelphia gave up A.J. Brown for Traylon Burks and the 101.
Yeah.
Patriots got the 29th pick, the 94th pick, and the 121 for the 21st.
I'm surprised. Well, you don't care or recognize it. Jameson Williams really didn't move up much with that first round draft capital for me. That's sad. I think the model's underrating him a little bit.
I mean, I've heard good things about him.
Yeah. He got injured and played really. No, Williams he played one great year at Alabama that last year, and he was playing behind Olave and Wilson before that. Sorry, I was just reminding myself. Not that you don't know. God, we gotta make it. Wow, no, you don't know. I gotta make a draft board out of crap.
Like a graphic?
Well, no, I just like to make a draft board for what to do in rookie drafts this year.
Well, Izzy just tweeted something that I like.
Oh yeah.
If Brees Hall doesn't land in Buffalo, Seattle, or Houston, the 101 just took a massive hit. Whoever the 101 is, you might be able to get. Whoever your 101 is, you might be able to get it at 108.
Sorry, what did he say?
So basically,
you can get your 101 at 108 because
your 101. So say if Bryce Hall doesn't land in Buffalo, Seattle, or Houston, he's saying you might be able to get whoever you thought the 101 would be at 108.
All right. Don't know about him yet. Don't know about him yet. The idea being, if he doesn't get a good landing spot, he's going to fall, right? Just so I'm reading that, right?
Yeah. And basically, with Willis not having first-round draft capital and Pickett being the only quarterback drafted in the first round, even in Superflex, you might be tempted to not take a quarterback until 4,
I'm tempted
5,
by it.
4, 5, or 6 even.
I was playing with the idea of putting Malik Willis at the end of the first round. Put it that way. I don't know. I want these quarterbacks, to be honest with you.
I mean, I've got a couple of rebuild. John and I actually have a rebuild where we have the 101 in a DTC listener league, and you know, we were pretty locked in on Willis, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
not sure now, huh?
Now might need to rethink it. We got an offer the other day for the 101.
Probably should have taken that.
The problem was it was Juju and Derrick Henry for the 101.
I know that sounds pretty good right now.
1 year of Derrick Henry that is probably a team that's 3 years out. I've got one team that I was playing, and let's see. I know I've got like 5 or 6 first round picks. Just one of those safe leagues.
Yeah.
Let's see. Safely 147. Draft. So it's a DLF league, actually.
Oh,
DLF Championship Series.
those are the best ones.
Those, they're a lot of fun. 2 point for tight end premium there. I've got the 101, the 103, the 105, the 109, the 201.
I guess I can't even rank Brees Hall yet. He doesn't have a place.
No, I think you really have to wait to see where he ends up now.
Yeah, I got nothing else to do though, so let me play. But yeah.
I mean, pre-draft, I have him.
Oh fuck. Gonna have to rank Jahan Dawson.
Pre-draft, I have him 42nd overall. Right around Metcalf.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Top 12 running back kind of place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DJ Moore. Kamara. Deontay Johnson. But now, where does Pickett go now? He's got the capital. He's got the opportunity. He's playing just behind Trubisky right now. Kind of want to move him in that same area.
John's got an interesting question. He's polling right now. What's the value of the random 2023 first right now? Is it the 101, the 102, the 103, so on and so forth? I think that's kind of what Izzy's point is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, safety. I'm going to update the database just because I can, to be honest. Is that a clothes dry going in the background, or am I losing my mind?
Yeah. Laundry room's down the other end of the hall.
All right.
I actually I just renovated the whole basement here, and literally
How'd that go?
it was a pain in the butt. So yeah, I mean there was a wall over there. I took that wall just came down. All new walls, ceilings, hallway. Opened up the washer room. I don't think I like it, but my wife wanted a 5-foot doorway instead of a normal doorway. She just wanted wider for when you walk through with a
Laundry basket under the hip.
so you
Yeah.
you don't hit your hands on the edges.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So yeah, my little $5,000 renovation turned into closer to 15.
Wow.
She she got jealous that the man cave was getting redone. I mean, I don't know if this it's on the computer, so it will spin. It will spin around, but it's not done yet. I got the I got to put the crown molding on and finish up, but it's getting there. The rug went in yesterday.
Good to me.
Yeah, it's nice to get my my space back.
I was gonna say that you best like it. That cost more than both my vehicles put together, all three of them.
The amount of money I put into this house.
It's a house, so that's what you put money into. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
it is where you live.
I was always taught you buy one of the smaller houses in the best location and upgrade it.
There you go.
So this house was like it was built in 1970 and it had one owner and they never updated it.
Oh,
so literally came in, we updated everything except the basement. I just kind of painted the walls and stuff at first and just got away with it for a while and then said, all right, let's do it. But every time you open a wall, you're like, oh, let's just replace that. Let's get the plumber, get the electrician.
Every time you do one thing, you find 4 other things to do. I do know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm still trying to get thing 1 done, though, so I'm good.
Yeah. I got one area left, and it's the one that is going to cost probably the second most. But the kitchen needs to be done.
Oh yeah, the kitchen's a big one though, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you got to do that right.
Yeah, and it's the whole. We basically opened up the whole first floor for open concept, and so we had structural engineers to get everything designed correctly to do the kitchen eventually, and it's about time. Got away with it long enough. The kids are starting to get a little better at not destroying everything.
That's fun.
All right, well, I'm heading off to bed.
Yes, sir. See you later.
You enjoy importing. I'll check out. You do the work, and I'll check it out on Patreon later. If you're watching, sign up for Peter's Patreon.
No, watches my life, but I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
He does all the work for you, and all you have to do is download the spreadsheets.
Look it up in the morning. You'll be fine. Thanks, man. Have a good night. Thanks for coming and chatting.
All right.
All right. That was Bob Gilchrist. I don't know why I pretend I'm talking to anyone, but I'm gonna. Let's hide those. No one cares. Put on some actual music too. Stream will lag, but again, you're not watching, so you don't care. Can you hear what I hear? Probably not. Tell you what, I'll give you background music. There we go. Can you hear me? All right. Good night, John. Boxing ring. Bing, bing, bing. Oh, God, my back. How old am I that I have to make, oh my God, my back comments? I don't know, but too old is probably the answer. Damn it. Mm-hmm. Really just had to update the wide receiver tab, but a lot of tabs to delete. Wild thing. I'm not crazy. I'm just singing along to my stuff, okay? Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Hey, Geese. I thought I was by myself, man. Appreciate you, man. Not much. I'm just updating the database. There's not a lot of reason to do it, but I'm sitting here. I just entered all the draft picks manually, and I thought, why not? Got some landing spots for some wide receivers. Everyone drafted is in the top 6, obviously, because those are the only 6 I can rank at wide receiver. You said that about 7 minutes ago, by the way. Apologies. No, I'm insane. Hey, J Mike, how you doing? Be encouraged yourself, man. Been a minute. I heard you on the Dynasty Dummies recently. That was cool. Boom. Come on. Take it. You can do it, little Google Sheets. All right, I guess that's that. I think. Burks, Wilson, London, Olave, Williams. Everyone's going to hate that. Yeah, I think I'm just Olave over Wilson at this point. Me fall from grace. Okay. I think that's where I'm at. Yeah. Aw. Sure. Oh, hey Joe, how you doing? Am I okay? Yeah, I think so. Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm just working on this stuff. I didn't expect anyone to be in here much, to be honest, so I was just listening to music and updating the database and trying to figure out how I feel about these players from round one. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm low on Drake London, but at this point it's because everyone keeps telling me I should be higher, and I don't like doing what people say. Yeah, I'm happier for seeing you, put it that way. And I was trying to get out my own head about it. You know, I can't not like London because everyone tells me to like London. That's silly. But I really do like the flaws of Olave and Wilson a lot better. I think Jameson Williams is getting severely underranked by the friggin', models. But that's, precisely because I couldn't give him a pre-draft score because he only had 1 year of data. And adjusting for that, I think I like him up there with Burks and Wilson. But I clearly, I feel pretty confident taking Burks, and then Wilson and Williams, yeah, they're in there. They should probably belong together, and they're below them. But I don't like how low that puts me on Olave and Wilson. But, I mean, someone has to be 3 and 4, So I was just kind of talking about it in my own head. So yeah, when Burks and London Wilson and this together, I feel a lot better taking Burks. I think he's gonna go after London and probably after Williams, but that's where I'm at. And then Olave and Wilson fall into another tier. Jahan Daxon, I rank him purely because he's the only other wide receiver ranked. I got no interest, but Zach Reed did make an interesting Brandon Cooks reference when talking about him the other day, so. Yeah. This is one of the years I'm not so unhappy that I don't have a lot of picks. Matthew Chambers commented, I'm so confused on what to do with my rookie drafts now. I wasn't huge on London or Burks, but your models feel like I should just trust the NFL. What am I writing back to him? Hey, Matthew, my models are strongly NFL draft influenced. That's why. Even the pre-draft model uses drafted rate for conferences. Probably uses some parentheses around that. I'd say this is a class, A class maybe? You should feel more confident going against ADP or the NFL. If you don't like either, take someone else. We'll trade the pick. If you can. I don't tell a little model tell me what to do either. Do use it to mediate risk. I don't know, that makes sense. That sounds like just a get out of a jail sentence. Is it you like? I think you can take Wilson or Olave over Burks. I mean, I really think this is just tier 2. This class starts at tier 2. Even though I've got, Burks in tier 1. Tier 1 is a tier 2 tier. That was a fast comment, by the way, Matt, if you're in here. Appreciate that. Sometimes you send it off into the void and you don't know if you even anyone even looks at it. Oh, everyone's deleting their pledges. That's fun. I think Joe left me too. That's sad. Better places to be. Which makes sense, to be clear. Happy song, that's what we need. Oh, hey, Joe. No! I'm always watching, which I'm going to choose to read as a non-stalkery comment, which is fine. I just stay quiet a lot of times, myself included, Joe. I understand it. I have this passive-aggressive tendency in what I say, but I'm not feeling it. I don't mean to be that way. I just think it's funny. You're doing your makeup. That's fine, man. Don't worry about it. Sometimes I just feel like filling the silent void, and so I say things, and if left to its own devices, if I'm just talking to talk, I tend to go like passive-aggressive. Oh, no one knows me. No one's talking to me. And it's just bullshit. Don't worry about it. I don't know why I do that. I just got done rewatching The Good Place and thinking of character flaws and, what are mine? And that's one of them. I hate my tendency to make passive-aggressive jokes, because I think they're funny. I'm not actually saying them, but I'm not sure that always comes across, so I should probably stop doing it. It's not funny. But I've only got like 3 jokes, I'm thinking about building something to compare draft classes. That makes sense. Like instead of a comps table for players, build one for draft classes, because I think everyone hopes this class is 2022. But I get I don't know, I get different, obviously no draft class compares directly to another draft class. But if I'm going to pick one, 2015 keeps coming up, to be honest. No, I don't need the NFL one. Go away. I need the live MS. That one. Like I was just looking, the last time we've had this many wide receivers drafted was 2020. But it also happened in 2015. Like 2015. I appreciate that, Joe. Just never take me seriously and we're good. How was I looking for this? I pulled up a little table to do it for me. Was it over here? Database info. Where did I put that? Hits per class? No. These are things I've added recently, but they're not what I'm looking for. I wanted to see, how many wide receivers were hitting per high draft capital versus low draft capital. Running back and wide receiver. Oh, that's it. No, I created where is it? I just have a tab full of draft pick history just in case I ever lose it. And so I was pulling it up just using that. Where did I put that? Draft picks. There we go. So if we go wide receivers and then just look at the ones drafted in the first round, that's what I was doing. Yeah, it wasn't a table. It was literally the... Yeah. That's what I was posting on Twitter, obviously. So yeah, obviously in 2021, we had a lot as well, to be fair. We had 5 last year. 6 in 2020, only 2 in 2019, 2 in 2018. So, the number normally varies between 2 and 3, to be fair. 17 was 3, 16 was 4, 15 was 4. And that's what this feels like. It feels like the number is increasing because we had a good year, not this is that good year. You know what I mean? It feels like, 2015. Here we go. 6 players drafted. And they were like Kevin White and Devontae Parker and Nelson Aguilar and Brashad Perryman and Philip Dorsett, who no one was fooled by, and Amari Cooper, who was wide receiver 1. And that feels so right. Like I had a lot of hope for Parker. Even White, I tried to talk myself into it because at the time I was listening to a lot of Player Profiler and Matt Kelly was all over him. Brashad Perryman, that downfield fast guy who looked 52. You know, even Aguilar, he showed more signs later in his NFL career, but ultimately busted out. It feels like that. And I'm trying to figure out if I'm just being too pessimistic, because I like Olave and Wilson, and I like these players. I do. I like London. But it feels so 2015. And if one of them's Cooper, I think it's Burks. And obviously none of them are Cooper. They all have different results. I mean, I'm comping it that directly is just ludicrous. But, I don't know. I mean, I could just say that, but I feel like if I built a comparison, I could say it directly, and so those who aren't interested in the nuance I just described would be like, oh, I get it. It's a fact. It's a direct comparison, even though it's not, you know? I'm starting to learn that if you can say something strongly, even if saying it strongly loses all the value, that's what people like to click on. I don't know I want to do that, though. Back at you, Joe. Yeah, I'm just talking. I've probably just been staring too long. I just think this is more 2015 than 2020. All the NFL is completely shifting to wide receiver and different kinds of wide receiver, and that's what's happened the last 2 years, maybe. There's a lot of changes going on in college in terms of player movement and production. So this could be the start of a trend, not the continuation of one. Appreciate it. I haven't even thought about those trades, by the way. I really should have been hyping Bateman. I kept thinking about it. Like, why are we not talking about Bateman anymore? Why are we not talking about Bateman anymore? But, you know. And now everyone's going to think, they're going to hype it so hard now. My Brown's gone. Lost the window. Did I put him on my list? This is my notes for my next video, and I don't even think I managed to get him on there. Yeah, because I was mostly concentrating on players to sell. That's annoying. Do I have to change any of this because of the draft? No. Players other people are higher on than me, basically. Herbert, Burrow, Javonte Williams, Swift, AJ Brown, Michael Pittman. Apparently, I'm low on George Kittle. That's compared to the consensus ranks in Superflex, so I'm pretty sure some of those just haven't been updated. There you go. Don't say good shit, just say it really confidently. Yeah. Rob, how you doing? Wide receivers landed well. Dotson had more draft capital, bad landing spot. Honestly, I think Dotson convinces me this Washington doesn't know what it's doing still. Appreciate it though, Rob. Unlike you, Peter, too self-conscious and knowing that we don't know, but people don't like that or they don't buy into what we say. Yeah, there's a line to walk if you want to be honest and actually accurate. You know what I mean? That makes it sound like I'm trying to do the right, and I am. That's the thing, but yeah. It's like YouTube. I think there's less leeway for someone like me on YouTube. I'm learning that people want to click on the video, hear the names, and go. They just want the answer. You know, they're not as interested in you explaining how you get to your own answer. And that's not a bad thing. People want different things. It's a different kind of platform. You don't want to fight about on it. I get it. But I'm a fight abouter. You know, I like fighting about the how to think part of it. It happens to work with family and yeah, I've found that too, Joe. If you like, I used to try and divide the off season into the thinking portion and then the just saying shit portion, like explaining that this guy can bust, but I see this, and then when you flip over, it's just this guy is a wide receiver one, but even that feels slightly disingenuous. I think I have to just be genuinely say things. It's not even confidence. I don't lack for confidence when I say things, to be fair, although I do talk a lot of gibberish. It's more certainty. You've got to pretend you have certainty. Now, if you actually listen to what people say in fantasy football commentary, they do give themselves outs, but it sounds like they're saying things are certain. If you know what I mean? There's a level of certainty, a lack of ambiguity in the way it's presented. You just have to start doing that. That's why some of my best takes are the ones that I'm just completely out on. It's things that I don't like that I'm just done with. Someone else can draft them. Because I'm very confident in that. I say it with a lack of ambiguity. And that's not because it's a good thing to do. It's because those particular takes, like I go to the mattresses on them. And so I can say it with that level of... but, you know, we don't need to talk fantasy analytics process. More fantasy... football content. This would be, you know, me jabbering. I hate it, but people actually listen to me if I don't give them the yeah, exactly. Don't say in one case or the other. Just say the answer is this. Don't say in my opinion or probably. All of that, it makes it less certain. Like the fewer modifiers in a sentence, the better. It's like weird comparison, but the first time I read Hemingway, I expected this flowery, poetic type, because, you know, Hemingway, the great author, I thought it would be this beautiful language. What I was struck by was how simple it was. It was amazing, don't get me wrong, but it was amazing because of how uncluttered the sentences were and directly poetic they were. If you know what I mean? I don't know. That probably doesn't make sense to you, but yeah, it's one of the things I think people miss about Agatha Christie, actually, and why she's one of the best-selling authors. I think she still is the best-selling author in the world ever. It's not just because of the genre. It's because, yes, they're kind of fluffy stories. The murder mystery genre is just really popular, but I think they're good, and I think it's a good genre. So that's part of it, but it's also her writing has this clarity to it. There's very little fat in her sentences, and not in an Enid Blyton way. If you've ever read her, she did murder mysteries for children because she couldn't write for adults because she wasn't good enough. She has simple sentences, but they're bad sentences. Agatha Christie, Hemingway, these people have simple sentences that are just good. If you know what I mean? The less adjectives, the less adverbs, the less modifiers, and for some reason that's like fantasy takes. It's not that you change what you're saying, you just remove the drain all the excess out of it. Treylon Burks is a wide receiver one in the 2022 draft class. Not London's fine, and you can also draft him, and there's very little. Just lose all of it. Just say the first thing. Where was I? Don't know. Just believe. Yeah. That's the thing. It's not believing in them. It's making it clear that you believe them in the way that you say it. Because I wouldn't say something if I didn't think it. But a lot of what I think is full of context. And you just remove some of that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to make it sound better than it is. Yes. Don't be ambiguous when you're trying to say That's the thing about ranks. Like Wilson and Olave. I didn't like having Rondale Moore wide receiver 5 last year, I think it was. But while ranks suck, that's what it forces you into. And that's why I started ranking and projecting more and more. It's like Michael Pittman. I was talking to someone in the Discord the other day about, can't you really get Michael Pittman higher than wide receiver 36 in Dynasty? And the answer is, if you list them 1, 2, 3, no, I can't. It's not that Michael Pittman isn't a top 24 wide receiver. He's very likely to be a top 24 wide receiver. I like him, but I don't see the upside, and I rank guys with more upside above him. And so 36 is actually a really good rank. The minute you start ranking players, like literally writing the list, I learned that, wide receiver 36 is not a low rank. It's just we like a lot more than 24 players, so it feels, Anyway, sorry, going off on this one a bit. Evaluations 1. Sorry, I missed the first bit. QB4s was a redemption moment to draft evaluation. It probably was, yeah. A lot of stuff seemed to be redeemed in this draft, like the fact that people were too high on Burks, for example. That is very clear in this draft. Like a lot of wide receivers went, he was in that group, but the NFL wasn't as excited as someone like I was. So we knew that. And you're right about the QB thing as well. Like we were trying to squeeze Malik Willis into this QB1 mold. And then the NFL is just like, nah, not really. No. So yeah, a lot of evaluators that stuck by their guns won this year. I think that's true. Haven't read a lot of Wordsworth, actually, but he's someone I should read, probably. Should probably read everyone, but I went through this phase of trying to read the people that you're meant to read, but I started reading relatively late. I just wasn't a big reader until basically I went to college, and I was like, I should read stuff. And I felt like I had to get onto the modern stuff quicker. I didn't have enough time to get around to all the people I should read. And now I barely get any time to read. So. Well, I get time to read. I choose to do other things. I should really read more. I keep picking up books and putting them in my truck with me, thinking that I'll read them whenever I get a free minute, just to, get the engine rolling again. And it's not working so far. I have to find more time for life over fantasy football, though. I'm doing way too much for the amount it's actually paying off. Not a complaint, just realism. I'm probably devoting too much of myself to it. Because honestly, it's working smart, not hard. Smart, not more. Like a lot of the stuff I'm doing, like I don't think it really paid off or it was really worth. I just wanted to be doing more of it. When, there are chores to do and dogs to walk and a family to occasionally see. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate the recommendation. I'll put them on the list. I already have a fairly high stack, but I'll put it towards the top. What was I trying to read lately? I've been trying to get through some nonfiction, actually. I've had, what's his name? I actually don't think I like him very much, but the books are interesting. He wrote Free Will, which is a really interesting scientific conversation on morality, and I just thought that was an interesting subject. Like, what does science do with morality? Can it be involved? I thought it was interesting. I want to say Chris Harris, but that sounds like a football commentator. I actually have a podcast to edit with Scott Barrett trying to teach me about wide receivers. I should probably edit that. Because re-listening to him is probably going to teach me a thing or two, I guess. Because I couldn't really understand half of what he was trying to say in the moment. There it is. Did I post this already? I'm starting to lose track. Honestly, it's not to stick on this subject, but it's a lot like models. As much as that's become a meme. I have a model. But I really think the value of a model is understanding why it's wrong sometimes, and then applying that to future draft classes. That's why I'm a little cautious on Drake London. players that do well in a model, but there are serious concerns about the manner in which they made those numbers. And Burks, there's some truth to that too. A model can lie to you that way a lot, especially when they're excessively high numbers. Wait, have I posted this thing? No, I don't think I did. I posted it to Patreon. That's what I did. Because I was just talking to Akash about, so I must have posted it. God, my brain doesn't work sometimes, does it? Actually, it's rarer that it does work. So. That's fine. Effect or effect? What? What? Here we go. See all of this. Just get rid of that. Yeah, that's stronger. Truth, but it's stronger to reality. Try that. Still probably too many words. Sorry. Wait, why don't you see your family? I do, but you know what I mean? I'm sitting here right now. Both my kids and my wife's upstairs. You know, you're not seeing them. You know, I took my daughter to a soccer game today. I watched her play. I'm seeing my family. My immediate nuclear family, my family of procreation, my family of orientation. A little strained. But anyway, but that's all I meant. Like, I could be spending more time with them. You always should, really, you know? Please tell me Traylon Burks is going to be AJ Brown 2.0. I don't know. I don't measure a style of play or whether he is AJ Brown. Can he be that guy for fantasy? AJ Brown for fantasy on the top? Yeah. Honestly, Tim, yeah, I think Burks is a good player. I don't have many concerns on him outside of maybe he was overproductive in a system that had a lack of other competition, that kind of Scott Barrett take that he was trying to explain to me. But honestly, a player who excels without having to do all the special things. It seems like the baseball analogy to me. I'll take the player with the same stats that hasn't been fully refined yet because the upside's higher. I really think that's a better way of looking at Burks for me. So yeah, I think they got a good player who, for me, fell a little bit. So yeah, you're good. You're good. AJ Brown 2.0. I don't say things like that, but I think he's Traylon Burks 1.0, and I think that's a pretty good thing. I don't like Tennessee trading AJ Brown, but that's a money thing, I would guess, and an injury thing, maybe. Why do eyelashes always get in my eyes? What a dumb design, Mother Nature. I wouldn't know. Never had well, no, I've had eyelashes in my eyes, but I can't say it's been a rigorous problem. But then again, I'm not doing much grooming, as you know, so that's probably why. I hope you get it out successfully. Just thought of another way to say that thing to Tim. Sorry. How did I meet my wife, and do you miss England? How did I meet my wife? It's an easy one. She came to study at the college I was at. In fact, she got put in the very corridor that I was living in. and actually had to stay in my room for a little while they found which one was her room. So literally the porter was like, could you give her somewhere to sit for a minute while I find where her room is at? We were introduced through accidental happenstance, but who isn't? As far as do I miss England? I mean, I'm going to say no, but that sounds wrong. I've always been, here's the way I've always described it. I'm always kind of happy where I'm put. I went to Wales to study for college, and I loved it there. It's not that I didn't miss home, but I didn't miss home. I never felt homesick. I kind of like where I'm at. Everywhere has something special and unique, and everywhere's interesting to me. And I tend to just like being a homebody anyway, so I tend to learn most of the stuff about the place I'm in pretty in depth. I would say as far as missing, I miss certain things because where everywhere's unique. Like, you can't get good fish and chips here. You can't get a good cup of tea. I've bought tea and tried to make it here, and for some reason it tastes different. It's like something missing out the water almost. Or maybe I've forgotten how to make tea. I don't know. I miss baked beans. Yours baked beans. Nothing tastes like Heinz baked beans back home. It just doesn't. Not that, but these aren't big things. They're not life-changing. I regret not having a closer relationship with my sister because you can't see someone regularly. And I'm not great at keeping in touch at distance. So there are pluses and minuses, but I felt homesick once, and I think that was about other things, you know? But I tend to enjoy wherever I'm at as much as I enjoy anywhere. So missing isn't really quite the word. Sorry, I'm going too in depth in this, but things hit for me a little different sometimes, and that's one of them. Whether I want to be somewhere else, I'm always kind of happy wherever I am. I find where I am pretty interesting. So I don't not miss England. I like England a lot. And I miss things from it, but it's not quite the right word. Hopefully that was a way too long answer than you wanted. Oh, wow. Yeah. She tells the story better, but then again, she's a writer, so she would. It was raining, and she looked like a wet rat, by the way. Literally, she was drenched and carrying a suitcase. Luggage had been lost by the airport. She was in dire straits, to be honest. Tim Shady, at what point in the draft do you feel safe saying Rashad Penny is a Seattle running back one? Good question, actually. As soon as Breece Hall and Walker go, honestly, that's it. Those are the two things that would contest it the most. So it's not so much about where in the draft, it's about who's left on the board. Like, Rachaad White goes there, I'm worried. But honestly, that's not, like, I think Penny should have at least an equal shot at that. Whereas if they take Walker or Spiller, even if it's in the third round, like, I think that's serious competition. And especially Breece Hall, you know? But I mean, you know, Aaron Jones was drafted in the fourth round, and I wasn't as scared about it, even though Jamal Williams was drafted the round before him. Sometimes it's about the player. And I think the real threat to a Penny would be Hall, would be Walker. After that, I feel more confident. So, yeah, I think that's my answer. It's not so much about the draft round, it's about those two players not landing there. Do your parents still live there? My dad does. My mom passed away, unfortunately, while I was here. Is your wife from Kentucky? Yeah, she's from a little further east than even we live right now. She's from Wolfe County. We live in Estill, so not that you're ever going to look it up, but Wolfe County is a little more east. She's from the deep dark. She's technically she could apply for application to be a daughter of the Revolution, which is where you have to have someone in your ancestry that fought in the Revolutionary War, and she's got it from 3 different people on both sides of the family, because they pretty much have been living in Eastern Kentucky since America. And yeah, so they've been involved in all of it. No, it's okay. Well, it's not okay, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I would say my mom was the person. She was the person I reflected the most out of my family, if you know what I mean. Not directly. We're different. But yeah, I was always close with my mom. Over the last few years, though, my sister had a kid. She was at home. The guy wasn't in the picture, and my mom made a concerted effort to get a lot closer to her, which I understood. I was off in college and doing my thing. Felt like we got a little estranged, but again, that's partly me not being great at maintaining relationships if there's not regular contact. It's something I've noticed about myself, and another one of those flaws. Again, overly deep answer to a very simple question. Yeah, I was very close with my mom. I miss her quite a lot. But as long as you were fortunate enough to get someone who is a mother, I think everyone understands that. You're always going to miss your mom. What was I here to do? Yeah. Me and Izzy don't get on, but he's right on the money on this tweet, so I'm going to send it over to Matt. Fortunately, you can't add hyperlinks, apparently. But you can copy and paste it. We're good. No problem, Tim. This is a football stream. Me and Joe just like chatting. I know, sorry. I'll talk literally about anything anyone mentions. And you're good. It's okay. I appreciate you saying so, though. Jazz is asking such nice questions. I'm wondering what's your thoughts on Daniel Jones after New York? Yeah, exactly. Fairly wild content. Yeah, I get it. Daniel Jones is Drew Lock. He's a bottom line starter who's probably gonna flame out and struggle. But if you're in a 2 QB league, he's a 2 QB. Yeah. I've been out on both Daniel Jones and Drew Lock for a long time, since their rookie seasons. In terms of, I don't think there's upside. We're not going to find that they suddenly excel in them. They're not going to Ryan Tannehill, where they've been struggling for a few years in this new situation. Hey, look, this guy was actually better than his situation was allowing them to be. I don't think that's them, but I'm not much of a quarterback evaluator. And I think people are going to, it's like Mitch Trubisky right now, probably going to be a starter. And people underrate those players. And so if you're rostering them, I think you hold them for points. You trade them if you can get a first in a super flex at least. Yeah, I need a first unless I'm like strongly rebuilding, and then you take what you can get and roll the value and stuff like that. But I'm not one to say this new situation is going to help this player excel because of his skill set, especially at quarterback, because I don't know much that works there. And the problems they've had seem to be endemic. They're not problems that improve with time. Like Ryan Tannehill wasn't significantly inaccurate before that. He was just struggling to see volume in the offense and also see success on the targets he was throwing. His accuracy was decent. whereas both Daniel Jones and Drew Lock struggle in a way that very few quarterbacks improve on, and very few quarterbacks improve on enough that, we see that second chapter to their career, like around. It does happen. When I asked this once, people pointed out Manning going to Denver, but Manning was already pretty good. It was a neck injury, I think Phillip Rivers moved. I think Alex Smith saw a second chapter. So it does happen. But the majority, and I think that's where Daniel Jones and Drew Lock will fall, is, their points at QB, so it's not invaluable. People underrate it sometimes. But I'm not betting on that second chapter coming along. That's where I'm at. If I look at anything with quarterback, it's whether they can sustain at least, decent accuracy. And there are a few ways to look at it. Just the catch rate of the receivers tell you something about it. Or you could look at CPO, which is something I calculate in the NFL based on Josh Hernsmeyer's attempt to do it for rookies. And there's Pacer. Pacer's pretty good as well. That's basically Racer, but for quarterbacks. So the number of receiving yards completed on their passing attempts, that's going to tell you something about how well they're converting the air yards that they're throwing into receiving yards and how much they have an effect on that. Obviously the wide receivers do as well, but it definitely seems to be something the quarterback owns. Anyway, I'm throwing stats out to you. The ultimate conclusion is I don't think they're accurate enough to really see that second chapter. But hey, man, they're NFL starting QBs, and that has some relevance. They've already succeeded at something more than I ever will, so can't throw too much shade. I don't like his he always tells Russ and Akash, yeah, but let's be reasonable. I don't get to listen to nearly enough podcasts or content. It's like reading, you end up doing stuff instead of paying attention to stuff. And I'm not saying... No problem with Izzy. He seems to be a good content creator. A lot of people enjoy him. It just seems that when we try and talk with each other, we just end up like arguing with each other, and he doesn't enjoy that nearly as much as I necessarily do. That's what I mean. So yeah, I'm not looking to put a downer on anyone else's day, and I think I put a downer on Izzy's day, so I just tend to leave him alone. But that tweet is a really good tweet. Bob Gilchrist pointed it out to me, and he's saying something about this class very accurate. I think better than I've said it. I'll put it up here. So normally that's the only reason I normally don't link his stuff, because I don't want to end up putting a downer on his day with me being an asshole. But what did he say? If Breece Hall doesn't land in Buffalo, so there isn't a clear wide receiver or clear 101 overall, then to whoever your 101 is, you might be able to get at the 108. He's talking about if there's not a clear 101, the ADP gets a lot more variant. So your favorite player might even slip as far as 108, which is true. If there isn't a clear 101, then the ADP is going to get a lot more flexible. This is the most wide open I've ever seen a rookie draft in my 19 years of playing. Can't speak to that, but I have a similar feeling. I've never seen such a strong tier 2. Like, I like everyone in there, but you could almost give me anyone in there and I'd be pretty happy. And I think, yeah, he's hit the nail on the head with that one. Yeah, they seem to like talking to him, but there you go. It's his tone. It's the way he said. No, I get that completely. It's like teachers, honestly. To draw another weird analogy, like some teachers I really enjoyed and I learned a lot under, whereas the person next to me who genuinely excelled would just struggle with that teacher. Like my dad always said, he just couldn't get physics until he got the right teacher. Just something about sometimes the way people say things or the way they explain them just doesn't strike you, you know? No, I think that might be what it is, honestly. It's not that we're different, it's that we're almost too similar, but in a very specific way that butts heads. Like, I genuinely think I upset him once or twice. I think he upset me once, which is fairly rare. And I don't think anything bad about him at all. It's fine. But, you know, it happens. And that's the only reason I put the caution on it. I normally don't mention what he says because I don't want to accidentally cause him strife, because I want nothing but good things. But yeah, the blunt thing, that's probably part of it. He's blunt, I'm blunt, we're blunt at each other, and sometimes that doesn't go well. we both like the same kinds of people. That's got to say something about it. Like, I talk to Russ and Bob all the time. He's got good taste in friends. Say that. Yes. If someone reminds you of yourself, you don't like them as well, or does that mean you dislike yourself? I strongly dislike myself, so that makes sense. But honestly, that's something I've been told. I've been told, the things we don't like about others when we see our own traits reflected back at ourselves. You know what I mean? I can't remember the quote, but that's the thing. Like, yeah. We will strongly dislike people we see similarities, and often we don't recognize the similarities. Why? It's like the way, I know some people do, I guess, but it's like seeing yourself in the mirror. You don't like seeing yourself. I don't like seeing myself on video. I don't like hearing myself on podcasts. And I joke about it, but it's not like I've got a lot of self-hate going on. I generally think low of myself. But I don't have like image issues. I don't depressed. It's not clinical. But at the same time, I think everyone, especially naturally, I mean, you've got extreme extroverts who like being the center of attention, but I think a lot of people like being part of a group. That's why we excel as a species, right? We're a social group. We like being part of a team and part of a group and cooperating. And I think some of all cultures is going to be encouraging that's not a dismissal of self, but that at least a slight edge of humility. Some people it's exaggerated, some people it's less. I think it's slightly exaggerated myself, but I think that all ties together. Like, we have to get used to like, I had to get used to being on podcasts and seeing my face on Twitter. Like, it took me forever. Like, my avatar is Homer, and that's just because I thought that at the time that was the thing. You didn't have your face. But it took me forever before I posted a picture. Like, it was like last year of me. And I was doing videos before that, but I knew no one was watching them. And I think that all ties together. Like, when we see ourselves reflected back, everyone's a hero of their own story. And sometimes you can seeing the reality of yourself is not as cool. How did what's that guy's name? Henry Rollins, cool guy, Black Flag singer, does comedy and talk and stand-up things. How do you describe it? He said at some point he realized he was about 10% as cool as he ever thought he was. I thought that was an interesting sentence, actually. But I think it's some of that as well, when you see what it looks like outside of yourself. In the same way, when you see yourself on video, you see yourself in a mirror, hear yourself on a podcast, what your voice actually sounds like to other people, because you sound different to yourself. There's a, that's not as cool as I thought it was feeling. Or maybe it's just feel like they're stealing part of you. I'm original. You can't be like me. But it's obviously not true. I don't know. Just pontificating on life. And Tim, seriously, just ask fantasy football questions. It's fine. I know I'm this. I mean, if you don't love yourself, you cannot truly love. Yeah, I think that's a quote from somewhere. I don't think love's a, I don't know. Let's not talk about that. Like Tim's pointed out, this is already a weird conversation. For a fantasy football stream, in the same way a relationship is something you build, it's not something you find. I think the similar thing about love. It's not something you experience, it's something you do. You know? So I don't think... I think you can love without necessarily being 100% mentally there. That's not the way of saying it. None of us are what a psychologist would call, fixed. There's always something to work on. But I think those kind of sayings about loving yourself and stuff, it's all... You can't wait till everything's perfect before you do the next thing. You kind of have to try and do it all at the same time. I think your father probably told you some mean things as a child and still his meanings lives inside your mind. I don't think so. I'm a little estranged from my father, but it's to do with adult stuff. I've got no reason to complain about the way I was brought up. I had 2 loving parents. They supported me in everything I did. They sent me to college. They supported me when I was in college. Never spanked as a kid, but I honestly don't think that's a bad thing. Personal choice. Never experienced violence or saw meanness. Was regularly taken on holiday. Like, I had a wonderful upbringing, to be honest with you. As far as I think I could blame my character flaws on either of my parents. I mean, we developed from our parents, but I don't think they did things or made mistakes. So, like all of us, people trying to do the best they can. I think they kicked it out the park, to be honest. I'll be happy if I do half as good a job. But I know what you mean, right? We get influenced by stuff before we're really even remembering what we're getting influenced by, our early memories. I'm not a psychologist or nothing, though. But yeah, I don't think so. I think I had a great childhood. Which QB gains more value after the first round? Zach Wilson or Jalen Hurts? Good question. I really haven't... I haven't digested all the different trades. Like Marcus Brown is still on the Baltimore Ravens in my head. But let's see. Philadelphia just went ahead and got AJ Brown, right? Interesting to see how that's going to work with Devontae Smith. He's someone I was really high on. And, AJ Brown, when healthy, he's a different kind of cat, man. Ultimately, I think that's got to help with Jalen Hurts, right? Both of them are pretty good. Neither of them are Stephon Diggs. Like, a Stephon Diggs receiver is just this preternaturally talented guy in terms of Adam Thielen, honestly, similar kind of thing. If the ball's in his area, that ball's getting caught more often than most. And it's hard to separate out that where that's QB and where that's player, but it's Diggs and Thielen specifically. I think they're really good at that. AJ Brown, I mean, phenomenal receiver. Devontae Smith's definitely done good things so far. But I'm not thinking that level of QB helpful. But I think Jalen Hurts is generally underrated. So that's where I'm at in the Eagles. Zach Wilson, I'm just low on, man. I tend to think players show us who they are earlier. And it's not that there isn't that chapter 2, Ryan Tannehill, like what we were talking about before, but it's a rarity. And I need a strong reason to believe it. Like Russell Wilson going to Denver, I'll believe it. Like I know that's a different kind of a player, Zach Wilson, when we're playing it to a rookie like that, I don't know Zach Wilson isn't going to ever do better. John Hogue likes to point out he seemed to be putting it together towards the end of the season. He was doing better. But ultimately, I'm disappointed. His accuracy seemed to be average in college, if not below average. And we seem to see that translate into the NFL. And again, the accuracy quotient is something I haven't often seen improved. It's basically just Josh Allen. And I attribute a lot of that to Stephon Diggs dragging him up. Because Stephon Diggs can do that. Not that Josh Allen didn't fundamentally improve. His one of the most impressive developments I've ever seen, any position. So kudos. I don't know I can say Zach Wilson will do that. I think he's a good quarterback. He's going to start for the next couple of years. I'm hopeful on the Jets. They're making some interesting moves. But yeah, I was already higher on Philadelphia, and getting AJ Brown is a good thing. And now New York just have Wilson, but he's a rookie wide receiver, right? Wilson or Olave? I'm pretty sure it's Wilson. And I like Elijah Moore a lot, and they can both. Elijah Moore is someone that can help a QB at least where he plays and how he plays, but I don't think it's enough to even put him on par with Philadelphia. So I'm probably a lot higher on Philadelphia. But Philadelphia is a team. I don't know, man. I got questions about the way they run things sometimes. I don't get going and getting AJ Brown, but they're professionals. I'll trust them, and I do like AJ Brown. So yeah, I'm still like Philadelphia's a tier above still New York for me. So when you tell yourself bad things, it's not you, it's him. I'm assuming there's probably a psychologist. That's probably psychology. Never really studied it. I know some pop psychology from movies. It's mostly what I'm reflecting here. From my own experience, I can't say I feel that way about it. Okay. And Joe, it's fine. I just wanted Tim to know that it's okay to switch it up if he just wants to ask about quarterback. It's fine. If Russell Wilson's offensive weapons is love, which 7 deadly sins is Aaron Rodgers' offensive weapons? That's fair. Funniest thing I heard on that DLF live stream was Cal saying that all these wide receivers being taken was basically the NFL refusing to let Green Bay draft one. And that's the way I prefer to see it. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be fine. That's the thing. Quarterback and wide receiver is interrelated, obviously. But I don't think quarterbacks need good wide receivers to have good years. And I think the reverse is true as well. There's a connection there, but I think Rodgers can be fine without having an Adams. But there won't be an Adams at the same time, you know what I mean? I think you just get spread out more. You've got a high touchdown rate over there, which is always an Aaron Rodgers thing, to be honest with you. His touchdown rates for these receivers is always excessively high. I think 2022 is going to tell us a lot about that interrelationship, to be honest, more than all the data we have so far. With the changes in prime wide receivers in the primes of their career, and quarterbacks, we're going to see a lot, like how Tyreek Hill performs in Miami and how Tua performs in that situation versus Patrick Mahomes now without Tyreek. Like, all of that is, and it's not just those two teams. It's Denver. It's everyone. We're going to get more data on that question than I think we've ever had before. That's what I'm excited about, mostly as a data nerd from 2022. That question is one of the hardest ones for me personally, just using public data mostly to separate out. I think 2022 is going to elucidate, fancy word, a lot of that stuff. I'm actually kind of nerdily excited about that. I know you're hurting over there. I'm not really hurting so much. I have depressive moods. That's what my mom used to call them. She said melancholic. And she used to get frustrated as hell whenever I went into it, actually. I have melancholy phases. And they're not really moods. I don't get depressed or throw things or sink into my room. I'm more quiet and reserved for a little while, and then they end. And I think that's just people, you know. If you're happy 100% of the time, you're almost... then it would suck, you know. Tim, I rephrased my question to be semi-Joeyan. Yeah, that's fair. No, it's just me and Joe have been chatting on streams and the DLF and Dynasty grind. We're down to just having regular conversations at this point. Joe mostly plays in PFF, high entry level leagues, by the way. So, you know, she mostly doesn't need my advice. I have no goal here, and I only just realized I've nearly been streaming for 3 hours. Most of it by myself. Where were you guys at the start? Gotta stop that. Also realize all you can hear is the generic background music, whereas I have some kick-ass tunes going. So, I've enjoyed this more than you. Ugh. I think Twitter broke on me. I have internet. Come on, give me Twitter. Everyone see that Derek Carr comment about a potential Darren Waller trade? I still feel like everyone's writing off Darren Waller a little too much. In terms of being like tight end 2 again. Sorry. Day 2 is always more interesting. Fewer hits or not. Well, it's not always more interesting. Sometimes hardly freaking anything happens. I do remember last year. Yeah, I'm sure it's changed a lot with all these trades. Doop, doop, doop. Doop, doop. I mean, the first 3 picks in round 2 are all traded already. From Jacksonville, from Detroit, and from New York. 4 of the top 6 picks. 5 of the top 8 picks. 6 of the top 10, is that? Wow. Round day 2 is always more interesting to me. Maybe that's the way of saying it. It is Wilson and the Jets. There you go. Malik Willis is Dynasty's new Hakeem Butler. All right. Oh, sorry, you're all talking still. I did not realize. Play a song you really like. I am. What? I just can't get it to play on here. I should have been using OBS, but I'm lazy, and StreamYard was right here. Tim, good night, guys. Love the conversation. Keep up the good work. Looking forward to tomorrow's results and your takes on it. Really appreciate it, Tim. Thanks for stopping by. Gary, how you doing? Yo, all. I was heading to bed until I saw Peter online. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, Gary. Thank you, man. Yeah, we're just getting started. And gee, I'm about to end it and go get a drink because, I want to turn off the stream lighting so my eyes stop hurting, mostly. Welcome the after show with Pete. Actually, it's not a terrible idea. It's like Zach, Dynasty Dummies only do content, actually, because it was before streaming when they started. After they too, because there's a lack of things to talk. Well, normally this year we've had quite a few events and trades, but even then you need time to think about it. On the spot in the first 5 seconds as an instant reaction, but you're gonna need a mullet for a while. So after shows about the draft, and also just waiting and waiting and waiting for a pick to be made, only to find out it's an edge rusher. Hey, it's rough. The draft is always more rough for fantasy than we remember, but it is finally fun to actually get some of the answers we're looking forward to, I think. And frankly, as far as first rounds go, we got a lot more of those answers than we normally do. What is that, 6, 7 fantasy relevant players drafted already? Reminds me. I keep thinking of a better way, because when a player only has 1 year with over 6 games, they simply get a 0 score on my pre-draft model. And I keep thinking there should be a better way. Like Jameson Williams shouldn't have a 0, and therefore he wouldn't only have a 70% post-draft. I've played with things like take their only year and divide it by the average number of years played, so 3 years, just to reduce it in some kind of consistent manner, but it's just a fake number at that point. A lot of these are fake numbers. I will, that's fair, but I don't know. It just kind of sucks to say you just got to know that's a different kind of 3%. And how is a 0 score in the 3rd percentile? I mean, 3% of players in my database have a 0. That's how. And that makes sense. God, my model's heavily draft capital influence. Strongly overfitted at this point. It's fine as long as you know what a model's doing and know why it gets some things wrong. Then it's useful. I insist. But at this point, models are all real overfit. To be any good, you have to overfit it almost. Good old Kluge, he's putting out the "it could be a boat" meme unironically. Nice. fair. Systems work until they don't. That's exactly rookie models, actually. Increasingly. So if I stop trying to create a model that would predict things and do a model that described things well. A specific thing that I think has signal that we can't accurately calculate into fantasy points. How well players compare, adjusted by age. Draft capital. That's it. Or at least I think I get value out of it. Maybe not. But yeah, if you look at the results over time, there's a strong... you have to keep redoing models because they keep increasingly getting more accurate the further we go from the original year of the data set. And that's because they're overfitted. I think that's what the cause is. And so I tend to retest everything and hopefully find a better thing to use it with. Something that actually pulls the high scores of new classes down further. Because, I don't know, I think as the college game's improving, it's not necessarily that wide receivers are getting better, but teams are getting better at producing. And some of our statistics just get affected by that. It's not the player causing production that's better than average. It's just that the production is better than average. It's like, I mean, what is Sky Moore's team? Western Michigan? It's not teammate score, but there is a history of players overproducing on that particular team with little effect in the NFL. Something to do with their system, I'm pretty sure. Anyway. Okay, Joe, I think I'm going to get out of here for a little while. I have to start it all over again tomorrow. Appreciate you checking it out, though. It's nice to talk to you all for a while. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Garrett, for checking it out before you went to bed. I'm not going to bed, but I am going to go get a drink and maybe chill for a little bit without thinking about fantasy football. I'm lying. I'm probably going to edit this podcast. Okay. See you later, though. I really appreciate it. Night. See you on day 2.